One. Cessna over the threshold, coming up on the white dot, at or beyond the white dot, left turn first available. I got a high wind coming up on about a half-mile final, clear to land at or beyond. Traffic on the left face, you're following a Cessna down low off your left. Square it up just a little bit, and then we're going to get you in. Start your descent, though. Start your descent on the base. Traffic on final, give me follow on base. Base traffic, start turning toward the numbers now. High wing coming up on quarter-mile final, take it all the way down to the green. Cessna taxiing on the green, expedite down to the next hard surface. Get me some speed. There you go. Go, 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 go fast. This is going to be good. I got traffic on a mile final. You're following traffic ahead and to your right. High wing coming up on the threshold. Take it all the way down to the green dot.
5 Charlie Sierra, 2 mile final.
A mile final, turn north, and we're going to just make you, we're going to bring you back around. Jet traffic's coming up on about a mile and a half final. Runway 9 clear to land.
Okay, all right, let's listen up, guys. If you're on final for runway 9, I want you offset to the left. I got a jet that's landing on runway 9. The jet's cleared to land runway 9 if you can make it. If not, just continue straight ahead. It looks like you're going around for the jet. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
Oh, we had one right in front of us, sir.
Dragger. Let's see, what we got, a tricycle. Tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tail dragger, down to the green dot, then a left turn. Short final here, you clear to land on 9, all the way to the white dot, go down to the white dot. Find somebody to follow out here. Canard, just come to the runway, and I might have to just send you around. That'll be fine. And for the jet, you just want to stay in this pattern, or you want to go back out for an instrument approach?
Stay in a pattern, Charlie Sierra.
All right, just stay with me here for a minute. And my tail dragger, let's see, over the numbers, go down to the green. And Canard's going to have to go around. Canard, go around. Canard, go around. Canard, go around. And my high wing here over the runway, keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. You do not descend. Do not descend. You got a fast guy behind you. Do not descend. There you go. Keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. As soon as the guy behind you gets slowed down, I'm going to put you down. So keep it airborne. The one that just passed the white dot, make a left turn on the hard surface. All right, my high wing tail dragger, you can put it down now. You can put it down now. And Charlie Sierra, let me get you about a mile off. Let's see, Charlie Sierra, I lost. There you are. Make a left-hand turn. I'll try to resequence you here on the downwinds. We'll see how it looks. Short final, you're clear to land runway 9 on the white dot. Clear to land on the white dot. There you go. And the tricycle left on the hard surface and follow the flagman. Welcome. Thanks for being part of the show. And let's see, just find somebody to follow out follow on the final, and as you get close to the runway, if it's not going to work, we're going to send you around and then try to re-sequence you. Now, who else got sent around that's not back on the downwind? The Canard?
Yeah, Canard.
All right, Canard, there's a Gulfstream up there that went around too. I just lost sight of him, but you're going to make kind of a left-hand turn and stay low. I think Charlie Sierra, what's your altitude?
3,200.
Okay, that'll be fine. Just maintain VFR. I don't know what else is up there above you. Probably most everybody's down here, so just make a left-hand turn. We'll try to get you back here.
Canard's got the jet in sight.
Okay, the RB, maybe an RB10, whatever, you're on final. Keep your speed up and go all the way down to the, aim for the green dot for me. Actually, keep your speed up. There's a guy behind you. Aim for the green dot, and I'm sure that's plenty of room for you to land on runway 9. You're clear to land on runway 9. Number 2, you're going to go down to the white dot. Follow the white dot. Actually, you know what? That's 1,500 feet. You're going to land at the white dot. The spacing looks adequate here. 2 guys on final. You're kind of tight there. Keep each other in sight, and you're going to aim for the white dot. If it's not going to work, we'll come up with a plan B. We might have to send you around. The second guy behind you out there in about a 2-mile final. Are you slow enough to be able to follow that guy in front of you? You need to go around.
Yeah, follow.
Well, I probably shouldn't ask that because I had about 5 guys answer me, so I should know better than that. After 35 years, you would think, right? All right, so let me see. The guy who's number 1, it's number 1. What kind of airplane is he? An RV type. All right, RV type. Keep it airborne for me. Keep it airborne. And I got a fast guy behind you. The number 2 guy over the trees there. Go ahead and put it down on the numbers. Put it down on the numbers. My first guy just coming up on the numbers at the over the grass at the numbers. I want you to keep
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, everybody, and thank you very, very much for joining us again on this sunny, windy, rainy, blowy Thursday evening in July. In fact, this is the last live stream in July, funny enough, not the last live stream ever, obviously. Breathe a sigh of relief, everyone, or not, as the case may be. So, before we move on, I would like to thank our sponsors, Sky Demon, who joined us last week as sponsors. The live stream wouldn't be possible without them. I'm sure you all know Sky Demon well, but just in case you're one of those rare people that hasn't had a go, download it, give it a go. There's a 30-day trial, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And as per every week, we have a different Sky Demon tip. This one brought to us by Tim Dawson, no less. So I hope you enjoy this. Look and learn, as it were, if you don't know it already.
Hi, I'm Tim from Sky Demon. Welcome to today's top tip. To find a street address or postcode in Sky Demon, open the Find tool and type in the address or postcode you're looking for. Select the result and the Sky Demon map will take you there. It will offer to show you aerial photography at the position. Press yes and you can scroll around and find the exact building you were looking for. Press and hold and you can create a user waypoint there. This is the headquarters of the CAA in the UK. Press save, you'll see your waypoint is there, and go back to the main map, and it's there too if you want to use it in a route. For more information and tips on using Sky Demon, go to skydemon.aero and choose Help and Support.
I never knew Tim had such a wicked sense of humour.
and that's Tim Dawson OBE nonetheless.
Tim Dawson OBE, absolutely. Yeah. And now I know how to do it. I'm going to use that to create a waypoint for the CE building, and I'm going to put it in a route and see whether I can fly over it or not.
There's a slight obstacle. It's called Gatwick Airport. It's right next door.
I predict that you could do it once.
I reckon you could probably do it more than once. I don't reckon Gatwick's actually got very much traffic at the moment. So before it all gets really busy again.
Yeah, loads of people do approaches into there during this time last year, really.
I'll tell you what, Ian, you go and do it, and then you may need your French passport after all.
I haven't got that yet. I might not get it yet. I never know.
wait until then. Yes.
Yeah. So what's coming up tonight? Well, we got a whole bunch of news, and as you can imagine, that's all based around, or a lot of it, at least, not all of it, is based around Oshkosh, which is going on right now. As we speak, there are people walking along miles and miles and miles of irreplaceable aircraft that weren't blown away by the storm last night, which is fantastic. It's almost as big as the Flyer fly-in. Whoops, just dropped something. Almost as big as the Flyer fly-in coming up on Saturday, but Johnny will be telling you a little bit more about that. We have got Simon live with us, who's going to give us some fantastic weather for the weekend. And I think there's a whole bunch of others. Oh, yeah, that was it. Fantasy Hangar. Ed's picked our backcountry aircraft. So we've got our backcountry aircraft with some surprises in there, I have to say. Bring yours along to the comments. Get researching now. Right, I think we're going to run the little stinger, and then by magic, Simon should be here afterwards. Ready?
Evening all. Yeah, a big weekend ahead with the Flyer flying on Saturday, of course, at Slape Airfield. So I've got more information on that for you in just a second. First off, we've got a little system, a little ex-tropical system that's passing over the southern parts of the UK during the course of this evening and into Friday. I've just put this Friday chart up to show you. I mean, it's pretty horrible for flying on Friday across many parts of England and Wales. But you can see that system is spinning up across southern areas, passing its way eastwards, bringing strong winds and also bringing some pretty heavy rain. So if you've not tied the aircraft down just yet, you're a little bit late doing it, but if you can get to the airfield across central and southern England, I think I would do that this evening because there could be some fairly strong gusts of wind associated with that. Flying in Scotland, much better. A few showers across Ireland during the course of Friday afternoon. Now, of course, Saturday is the big one. It's flying day at Slape Airfield, and it does actually look like being a pretty decent day. I'd probably give it about a 7 or an 8 out of 10. We do have some showers across southern parts of Ireland, across central and southern parts of England as well. Yes, 1 or 2 could be heavy, but I think you'll probably be able to be flying around those. There will be blue skies in between, and for Slape, there'll be an odd shower at times. Now, this is a chart that I sent out on Instagram and Facebook earlier on today. Look, if you don't understand these charts, don't panic, but I like to get technical occasionally. This is a skew T diagram. If you've been to Weather School Part 2, you'll know what we're talking about here, but basically this is the forecast for Slape for Saturday, and what this is showing us, and this is where skew T's become so useful, is they enable us to forecast bases and tops of clouds. And what this is telling us is that the bases at Slape on Saturday will be about 3,000 feet. Tops generally will be about 7,000 feet. So that's enough cloud just to produce a spot of rain, just an odd shower, but nothing particularly too serious. And there could just be an odd top popping up to about 12,500 feet, enough for a moderate shower. But don't go over the top with these. These are not going to be particularly very heavy showers. So actually it looks like being pretty decent. I think we're looking at broken cloud overall as well. Just light westerly winds and decent visibility in between those showers, probably 40 to 50 kilometers. In the showers, I think going down to about 8 kilometers. So it does look like being a decent day on Saturday for Slape. Across northern England, we've got a front that just lies through Northern Ireland, goes through southern Scotland as well. Probably more cloud there, but that will break. Northern Scotland certainly looking much better overall. And just looking at the ceiling forecast, so this is height of cloud above ground level. Green tells us where we're 2,000 feet plus. Yellow is where we're 1,000 feet plus. You just see there northeast England, perhaps in that low cloud, 1,000 to 2,000 feet, but for most areas in the green. So no worries with those cloud bases, particularly through Saturday. For Sunday, remnants of a cold front just lying across southern parts of England, bringing us a little bit of cloud here. Bases probably around 2,000 to 3,000 feet. But even with that, I think many areas are flyable, and we'll probably find visibility about 15 to 20k across southern parts of England. Elsewhere, a northerly flow. That's good news because it brings that clearer air down for the north. It gives us decent visibility, and it's going to be giving us decent flying conditions as well. Generally, for most of us, I think bases on Sunday are going to be probably around 4,000 to 5,000 feet, and the tops on those probably about 8,000 to 9,000 feet. So no worries, particularly. Only place to watch for, again, just probably northeast England. We might just get a few lower bases there. You see on the ceiling forecast there, that yellow colour may just be a few low bases between 1,000 and 2,000 feet, but nothing too much to worry about. Generally, Sunday looks like being a decent day as well. So I think a decent weekend of flying ahead. I mentioned there Weather School. If you've not been yet, then my Weather School Part 1 on the Saturday mornings of the 18th and 25th of September is filling up. I think we've got 7 places left on that now. So if you want to come along, it's presented entirely online live by me. You can't have everything, can you? On those Saturday mornings. And to book your place now, just go to weatherschool.co.uk. I'll build your confidence in your flying weather, get you flying more, and get you planning your flying reliably as far as the weather is concerned for the next 5 days. So go to weatherschool.co.uk and check that out now. Whatever you're doing, have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy yourself at Slape. If you're going along, dodge those showers. But otherwise, I think you're going to be in for a great day. I'll catch you next week. Bye for now.
Almost.
Someone said we were doing really well.
Oh no! If it wasn't for those pesky charts, thank you very much for that, Simon. Much appreciated. Great weather forecast for Saturday. We look forward to that. Enjoy the hospitality in the green room, and thank you again. So I think that must mean it's time for the news.
Wow.
We probably need a little news thing, don't we? I should work on one of those for next week or maybe the week after.
Oh,
there you go.
Yes.
You're leading us off, Ed.
Yes. So of the big news from Oshkosh, you'd have to have been hidden under a rock for the last few months to have not heard about it. But the amazing Scrappy project from Mike Patey did actually fly and made it into the show on, I think it was it Monday morning? I can't remember now, but no, it might have been Tuesday. But anyway, Scrappy made it to Oshkosh. So with all its solar panels, slats, flaps, batteries, huge horsepower. So this is Scrappy. If you haven't been keeping tabs on Mike Patey's crazy project that he's been running on YouTube, it's basically an enormous carbon cub. But hardly looks like it at all now. It's powered by an 8-cylinder Lycoming IO 720, modified by Mike because Mike modifies everything to become a custom IO 780 with 600 horsepower. It's got nitrous injection, 2,500 pound empty weight, 4,200 pound gross weight, 120 gallons of fuel, 10 hours of range, and the wings are double slatted, slotted flaps. And Mike's hinted, he's not talked anything about really about specs for it yet, but he's hinted it stalls slower than Draco, and that stalled at 35 miles an hour. So in a chat to some people at Oshkosh, he's already suggested that he's working on a new prop, which is going to be constant speed because the current one doesn't seem to be covering all his speed range. And he's already going, well, maybe I could add twin turbos. So, and some people are predicting he's going to get bored with that and just add a turbine. So that's amazing stuff.
I hope it's got a big boom box in the back because it's got one of those undercarriages that goes up and down as well, doesn't it? Not as in retractable, but as in.
Yeah, no, and the undercarriage, that very highly sophisticated undercarriage goes up and down to vary ride height, and he can hang a couple of dirt bikes off the wings, and he's also got it's got the ability to it's got an onboard fuel pump and hose so that he can refuel all his mates as well. I learned that from watching a video. So
and he can run a welder off it, can't he?
Yeah, and he can run a welder because there's it's got this huge, it's got like 8 batteries in the wings and solar power, and basically Mike is like a good Bond villain with the ability to just create his own amazing things.
Instead of like sharing your fuel with your mates, what you ought to do for the backcountry camping is fill that bit with cider and just dispense cider for your mates, really, for the camping. I reckon. Personally.
I think that reference would be lost on Mike at the moment. He'd be going, "What cider?"
Yeah,
that's a West Country thing.
Yeah.
Come on, Mike, get with the plot. You might live in. Actually, it's in Spanish, whatever it is, isn't it? It's in Utah. It might be a completely dry state.
Utah, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we're going to see a lot more from Mike and Scrappy, but an incredible thing.
So on ADSB Exchange, when I looked, I think Johnny spotted it first. It was doing something like 85 knots. So I wonder if it's discovered that with all that drag and that prop, it does 85 knots. My 600 horsepower, 85 knot.
Oh, there was in one of the chats that I was listening to, he was talking about this huge, because the current prop is fixed pitch, and something, I think it was something along the lines of if he pitches it for maximum thrust, he can only do 40 miles an hour, but if he pitches it for cruise, then it's maybe good for 120. So hence why they're already working on something constant speed.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Okay, well, there you go. So, Johnny, you're up next.
Yeah,
I think this one's probably got a Garmin autopilot in it, but your story is something different.
It is something different. It's from Level Aviation, and they've released their own iLevel autopilot, which is a wirelessly controlled trim tab. There you go. You can see the base there. Trim tab based system, which you can control from your iPad or your smartphone. So it's an upgrade to their existing iLevel AW, which is a wireless avionics system which integrates a glass cockpit with your iPad, your Android, or whatever. But it offers features like heading hold, altitude climb and descend, as well as auto trim. And they've released it at Oshkosh. It's on a deal at the moment. It's going to be going up for about $1,900 after the show. So it's reasonably decent value for the autopilot system if you've already got the iLevel AW set up.
Wow.
What happens if you have a call while you're flying?
It puts you into the hold.
Yes.
It's a different meaning for you're on hold.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Wow. Well, it's amazing what people are doing with smartphones now. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I know we all joke about this, but I would love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation with the LAA. That's an autopilot system that's linked to my phone, please. What do you think?
Well, there was we haven't mentioned it, but we did spot an autopilot that was that had been designed and is like a bolt-in. Do you remember? I shared the information, and we must dig into that more. But it's literally something you clamp to your yoke, and it flies the aeroplane for you, and that's equally slightly weird in terms of bolt-on. So,
yeah, I remember. Yeah, we need to dig that out. That's true.
Yes, he got lost.
Let's move up to a slightly faster kit, shall we? Than I don't know, than Scrappy at least. Dave.
Yes.
We're talking about the Stratos 716X, which is making its debut at Oxford. It's a rival to the Cirrus. Oshkosh. Sorry, Oshkosh. It's making its debut at Oshkosh. It's a rival to the Cirrus Vision Jet, sort of, because it has a single turbofan engine. But unlike the Cirrus, when the Stratos goes on sale in 2022, it will be as an experimental class kit plane. Apparently, Stratos intend to offer it as a factory-built certified version in the future. The 6-seat 716 Stratos is claimed to have a cruise speed of 0.7 Mach, which is where the 7 comes from. 0.7 Mach is 402 knots. And apparently, it will cruise at 41,000 feet. So how do you think about making one of those, Ed? Is that your next kit plane?
No, that's not my next kit plane. No, We'll see on the Stratos thing, won't we? So
but it's a bargain. It's 2.5 million as a kit plane. Apparently, it'd be 3.5 million as a ready-made aircraft. I'm not making this up. No,
hopefully it comes with onboard air conditioning. You don't have to fly. Just pop the photo back up. You don't have to fly around with the air conditioner attached to the outside.
Well, I think it's been at Oshkosh before, although perhaps not as a kit. I can't remember, and I know that because this pen, spookily, that I have here is a Stratos pen. This was one of the things I was given at yet another interminable press conference. But at least you get a pen.
It is interesting, isn't it, that you get a lot of these companies going, they start out and they're going, we're going to certify. And then all of a sudden they go, well, first we're going to offer it as an experimental. So, it worked for Epic.
Well, it worked for Cirrus in a way, didn't it? Because they started off as a kit plane manufacturer.
They did, if anyone can remember the Cirrus VK30.
Well,
absolutely. And there's one of those parked at Merritt Island.
Wasn't there? Yeah,
one parked at Merritt Island in the States.
They famously picked one on as a project in one of the trawling classifieds things that we did.
All right. That was a mistake.
You forgot that one, didn't you?
I've never flown one of those VK30s, and I'm kind of okay with that at the moment, I think.
Yeah. Very cool. What's next?
You've got the big story, Ed.
It's me. Yes. So talking of kit planes, the world's biggest kit plane player, Van's Aircraft, have announced that they had the first big forum slot on Monday morning, and during that they announced to the crowd that the RV-15 is on its way, and it's going to be it's going to be a high wing aeroplane. It's also going to be backcountry capable, and initially offered as a tail dragger with a stick. But that's all they've told us so far. They were keen to get that news out there. No pictures, no specs, though on the website it says top speed, secret, ceiling to be decided, stall speed, you will see, fuel capacity, plenty, seats, yes, and baggage, oh yes. So we can expect, it's Van, so we can expect something that delivers total performance. I think we can expect to see that next year at Oshkosh. Potentially, maybe we'll see the real thing. I'm sure they'll certainly reveal the aeroplane in appearance. So, Ryan Johnson, newly appointed president of Ryan Johnson, who's been chief engineer there, said, we're excited about the design. It's a large departure. Well, going high wing after a lifetime of low wing is definitely a large departure, but that'll be exciting.
I wonder if it's going to have the kind of raked gear that you get on kind of like a Whitman tailwind or something like that, or whether if it's backcountry capable, whether it's going to go for a little bit more.
I think they'll probably, if I had to guess, I would imagine it might use the undercarriage off the RV14, the A, which uses a kind of Cessna style spring steel leg, and maybe I possibly put money on it being IO390 powered. They'll use vans are famous now for using things that they've already developed and kind of put into the system and are well practiced. So they put a lot of work into that IO390 power plant package for the 14. So I guess it might be that. If it's not that, then it'll probably be the IO540 that they put in the RV10. But who knows? It's all up in the air.
Wow. Funny enough, I was wasting part of my life away browsing through Facebook the other day, and yesterday I think it was, and Randy Schlitter, who's the guy behind Rand's Aircraft, who's also quite a talented artist, was amusing himself by drawing what he thought the new Vans RV15 would look like. So I think we can call it the Rands on Vans, and this is the sketch he came up with. This is kind of like
it's like a little caravan.
It is like a little caravan. It's a bit of a nose wheel, which is departure from what they were talking about. And obviously, to turn that into a tail dragger, you'd have to move the gear significantly forward, wouldn't you? But,
that's it. Yes. Yeah. Interestingly, that looks almost too complex. So, I'd certainly, as you could see it,
very
possibly,
Kodiak.
Yeah. Yes, very Kodiak. Interestingly, Andrew Kennedy asked the question, "What's the RV5?"
It is.
Now,
it's out there.
Sorry, Johnny.
It's out there.
It is out there. There's only one of them. So the RV5 was a Rotax-powered single-seater. So it was designed in the 70s by Van to be very simple, like a kind of eco aeroplane. And it was Rotax-powered, and the wing was shoulder-mounted, and you could lift it up and spin it so that it stored along the aeroplane, and you could put it away. Real simple design. And they took it to Oshkosh. It was kind of lost for ages, put away in storage, and they just restored it. And I think they're planning to fly it again, but they took it to Oshkosh in 2019. And I actually got to sit in it, and I do have a photo there. There we go. You might be able to see it. Clear if you do look at it, it's I don't fit. You can't close the canopy on it. So so the RV5 was a little single seater, and they got restored because it's the pet project of Ryan Johnson, who's the chief engineer there, and he still thinks it's quite a good idea. This kind of low horsepower, very simple to build, kind of little personal flying aeroplane that you can store alongside your other airplanes. So
it was born out of a fuel crisis, I think, wasn't it, in the 70s?
It was, yeah.
Not that I
think it's
recall
Rotax
that, but...
Rotax 447 powered.
If you
Google it, Google RV5, you'll find plenty of photos. It's worth a look.
Ping me that picture, and we'll put it up next week. We'll have a little RV.
Okay. Yeah.
RV thing. Yeah, good. So 9, 10. So what about the 11 then?
The 11 is a motor glider. That's Van's. That is actually it's an active project, but it's Van's own personal. Stop shaking your head, Dave. It's Van's own personal design. It's a motor glider that he's been working on for ages. But it's kind of well known, and it's just his pet thing. And he'll finish it one day, and he's big into his gliding, his Van. So the RV11 is out there. RV2 was a geodetic glider. If you're filling in the gaps, that never went anywhere.
And the 13? Well, we're here for completion's sake.
That was the number they didn't use because they are superstitious.
Still to be built. Yeah. Right. Time. It's my story. My turn now. I don't know. Talking of interesting, wacky things at Oshkosh, of which there are plenty. Take a look at this. What do you reckon to that then? That's the Skylab side-by-side 2-seat aircraft. Supposedly super simple. It's going to be hybrid. It's going to have like a generator behind the pilots and power. 8 electric motors. I think there are only supposed to be something like 6 parts to that fuselage, or I reckon I can count a few more as well. This is kind of what it's supposed to look like when it's all finished.
This is why you go to Oshkosh, isn't it? This is brilliant.
This is why you go to Oshkosh. There are many aircraft like that, and you won't be surprised to know that not all of them make it into production or even kit form. And maybe that one will, maybe that one won't. Who knows?
I'd like to. They've got. If you go to their website, they're quite mischievous and fun, and I'd like to think they're going to find some success. Certainly that'll be a fantastic view flying that, won't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to nose it over though. Break the nose with it, do you?
No.
All right. Okay. That's. But go to Oshkosh. There's loads of weird stuff there, and it's great. Johnny, you're going to tell everyone about our weird videos.
Yeah, on the topic of Oshkosh, if you do want to see more, you can check out the videos that we've published on YouTube this week. We've got interviews from Cirrus, a walk around the showground with Philippe Pullman from Echelon Air at Biggin Hill, a chat with the guys from Sporty's Pilot Shop. It's nice that even with being thousands of miles away, we can still do these things, have video calls, and we're all used to that now. Or rather, Ian is used to it because he's been doing the hard work of recording and interviewing and editing. So they're all on our YouTube channel. We've got more to come. So if you head over there after the stream, you can watch those videos.
And in fact, Garmin, a Garmin one went up about an hour ago or two.
Brilliant.
So there's that as well. Right, back. Let's drag ourselves back from Wisconsin. Put the cheese curds away. Dave?
Right. In the normal news, big story, the 600 kilogram microlight class is a quick step closer because the changes that are needed in law have now gone to the UK Parliament, and it's hoped it will come law on the 19th of August. Details of the new class have not yet been revealed, and we wait to see whether there's any substantial changes from what was in the European version. A joint statement was issued by the LAA and BMA today, which basically said, after months of negotiation with the CAA, cheers, let's go for a pint. So they're relieved to have got it over and done with, but we've yet to see the detail. And as they say, the devil is in the detail. So, but good news, it's moving on.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely. I think that has potential to be really good. Let's cross our fingers and hope that we don't snatch defeat from the jaws of victory and a new renaissance of sport aviation. Talking of which, there's just after 11 years of slogging away, GAMI in the US have just been awarded the STC for their 100 unleaded aviation gasoline. It's taken them 11 years and it's taken forever, and they reckon it'll cost probably the equivalent of 11 or 12 pence extra per litre. Clearly, getting the whole thing formulated, certified, tested, and everything else is a huge mountain to climb. But probably, I know nothing about fuel systems, but I'm going to imagine that getting it into bulk production and shipping it all over the world is a mountain that's at least as big, if not bigger than that one. It comes down to all sorts of other market forces and weird kind of stuff. So let's hope that it gets there. But it's good to have an unleaded fuel there for that day when we might need it. And well done. That's effectively Mike Bush, not Mike Bush. What's the guy's name? It's the company that does GAMI ejectors. I've forgotten his name at the moment. Embarrassing.
George.
Yes, George.
Yes, George from GAMI.
Let's call him George. George Braley.
George Braley.
There you go, George Braley
from
GAMI.
Yeah.
Great work. And you may well have seen him if you've been on one of his engine operating seminars and webinars that he does online. Very, very smart cookie. So
I think the amazing thing is we've for so long we've been going, well, what's going to happen? And actually now we've actually got a bit of an answer, haven't we? So
yeah,
having not had. So wouldn't it be great if the aviation minister and maybe the minister for transport and DFT went, hey, to help push the brilliance of unleaded 100 octane fuel, maybe they make it 0 rated, for duty and VAT and stuff like that. So
that'd be brilliant. That would be a major step towards.
It definitely would.
Come on, Grant. You want to. You want us all writing fan letters and everything.
That's it. He's right there at the front, with the charge for greener greener aviation and stuff like that. So that would be a brilliant opportunity. Grant, seize the day, do it.
Yeah, incentivizing the use of unleaded fuel by taking. I mean, in government terms, the duty that you get from avgas can be barely even a tenth of a typical PPE contract to one of your mates, is it?
Well, now that is contentious. So let's move on very quickly. Except you're on the next item, Ian.
Oh,
Ed is. Sorry. Yes.
Ed,
It would be after you make me cough. Yes, so Icon, who famously make the A5 amphibian, which is an LSA, are now working on certification of the A5 so they just want it to have general FAA certification to enable them to sell that around the world. I think they've realized that it's limiting their market potential. So they announced this week that they're going for FAA certification. As part of that, they'll be offering the Garmin G3X Touch as part of the avionics fit, and I think there's going to be a Garmin Autopilot in there as well as a future option. But it's probably not before time, because clearly there's probably a market for that outside of the States. But finding the right certification is probably the way forward. So.
Yeah, it was an interesting story to watch, wasn't it? They were kind of like running full speed, lots of razzmatazz, lots of spending money. We got thousands and thousands of orders, and then it kind of like hit that wall of reality and discovered that if you can have thousands of orders, but if they're predicated on $5,000 returnable, refundable deposits, it's not really showing a huge amount of commitment. But let's hope that they persevere. They've certainly downsized and got. I don't want to say got smarter and taken a different view of things. So you never know. Unfortunately, it won't make much difference to us over here because our ability to fly on the water in England, at least, is pretty piss poor.
Bit of a shame.
Yeah.
Bit of a shame. There you go.
Yes.
Right.
I hear you have some regulation news.
We got some more regulation news. Yep, great news. Congratulations, Civil Aviation Authority. As of today, I think it was Grant Shapps who tweeted that the UKCA is now in charge of regulating space. So we've, hot on the heels of our previous best place in the world for general aviation, we've updated our little thingy. You go.
Yeah, I think we need to get the first 138,000 feet sorted, don't we, before we start thinking about regulating space?
Well, I mean, is it Newquay that's the spaceport that we're going for in the UK?
Newquay and Machrihanish, I believe.
That one must be Machrihanish then, because it's got some hills in the background.
I don't think that's a real spaceport.
Sorry?
Yes.
Really?
That's definitely not a real spaceport.
Me.
It looks like one.
Yeah. If it looks like a spaceport, it smells like it's regulated like a spaceport, then it must be a spaceport. Well done. Good luck, CA. And let's hope that shared services and licensing is not really getting involved in that. Otherwise, the astronauts might get a little bit old before they get to fly. In fact, I'm not even sure there's going to be astronauts. We're just going to be popping up little satellites and stuff. Anyway, good on you. But no big rats, please, for that one. No. Dave.
So next story is about it's not just at the Olympics where British teams are winning medals. The junior British gliding team swept the board at the recent Junior European Gliding Championships held in Lithuania. I'm not going to pronounce the place because I can't. I've tried several times. The British team took gold in the club class, silver and bronze in the standard class, and gold as the overall winning team. This photo shows the team. From the left, it's Tom Pavis from North York, who won a silver medal. Then there's Henry Inigo Jones from Hampshire, won a bronze. Clement Allen from Hertfordshire, team captain with a team gold medal. Toby Freeland, and the final guy on the right is Finn Slade from Suffolk, who won a gold medal and is a European champion. So,
wow.
Brilliant.
Good
well
on
done, guys.
European champions of board sweeping. Well done, peeps. That was great. Yep. Good news. Johnny, you're young. You're young
I've got a story about saving the environment and trees and things. So Leicestershire Aero Club have said that they believe they are the UK's first carbon neutral flying school. And they've basically chosen to offset their carbon footprint with this company, the General Aviation Carbon Offsetting, who they're a certified kind of carbon neutral organization, and the club have calculated that in June this year, so last month, the fleet flew just over 400 hours. They used just under 10,000 litres of avgas, and they calculated that that produced 22.2 tonnes of CO2 emissions. So they're going to offset that by planting trees. 25% of the trees are going to be in the UK, 75% elsewhere in the world. And yeah, that's offsetting their mixture of commercial and non-commercial training and all the recreational flying that hirers do as well. So yeah, that's good for them. Do we know what our carbon footprints are?
I reckon I'd probably about 100 quid's worth of trees a year, which is not. I need to go and check that, but that's not too bad, is it? It's not outrageous. I'd pay. In fact, I will pay 100 quid a year to offset my. How about you?
Very good.
I came in about 70 quid. So
okay,
yeah.
Well, driving my Land Rover, I'm afraid I'm a bit out there.
Okay. How about you, Ed? You've got a fleet of aeroplane.
Yeah. Well, I have a smaller engine than Johnny, so I think I'm around about the 62 pound mark.
Oh, that's not too bad, is it? I think I'm gonna go for it. Though those numbers that you came up with, Johnny, they're interesting. We should maybe investigate those a little bit more. Maybe we could even produce a little avgas documentary. We're getting ahead of ourselves now.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I have to do that next Wednesday. Right, Ed.
So
here's the technical split bit.
Yes. So obviously Oshkosh Week. I took the opportunity to have a chat to Dave Hirschman for AOP US. Now, obviously, Dave is a columnist for us for the mag and is actually on site over there. So I had a quick chat with him yesterday about things that have been going on at Oshkosh, and this is what he had to say. Dave Hirschman from AOPA USA. Dave, joining us from Oshkosh. Welcome along.
Thanks for having me. It's fun to take a break and from some of the action.
So how have the first few days been?
Overwhelming, really. It's the attendance is phenomenal. It's up hugely from the last Oshkosh 2 years ago, and you know, we were thinking that it would be. There was some anecdotal information beforehand that campgrounds were filling up and that reservations at the hotels were really strong. And it is, the reality has far outstripped even the most optimistic predictions.
I've seen some early EAA numbers that show plane registration and vintage and things like that are all up. So
right. We're missing our Canadian friends because at the seaplane base is relatively lightly attended, and a few of the camping areas where where people would cross the border from Canada, we're missing that. But otherwise, the attendance is huge. Talking to the vendors, the sales seem especially brisk.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously, I'm guessing the international attendance is low as well. So,
yes, and because of the travel and quarantine rules, sure.
Yeah. So what's been the big news items for you as you've walked around?
Well, I just got out of a press conference with George Brawley of GAMI, General Aviation Modifications Incorporated, where they've got the first time that they've got FAA approval for an unleaded aviation gas, and unleaded aviation gas, and it's kind of been the holy grail for 30 years is to get a drop-in replacement for leaded aviation gas that can mix with gas, that can have a long shelf life and all these other requirements. And apparently, GAMI has solved that Gordian knot. You know, they've got an FAA approved solution. Surprisingly to me, it's not come through the normal laboratory and testing process that the FAA has set up. It's called PAFI. It has not come through the PAFI process. They did it themselves through what they call an STC, or a supplemental type certificate. This is just a bunch of verbiage, but the gist of it is there is now an unlanded avgas alternative, and that's never been the case before. And it's expected to be available during the first half of next year, and that's exciting. You know, if that happens the way they describe it, then it takes away a lot of the uncertainty having to do with a future supply of avgas and high compression, high power piston engines, and that need that to operate safely.
Yeah.
So hopefully, there's a solution to a problem that we've been talking about literally for decades. So that's exciting. Personally, one of my favorite planes here is one Europeans are going to be very familiar with. It's the black-shaped Gabriel. It's the first time we've seen that on this side of the Atlantic, and boy, that looks like a really stylish and well-designed and well-built, exciting airplane.
Yeah.
Also from Italy, the big Tecnam Twin. They're a sort of regional airliner with the high wing with the big Lycoming piston engines.
That's the P2012 Traveler, I think, isn't it?
It is, and it's the first time I've seen that in person, and it's quite impressive in its size and interior dimensions. The DA50, I am talking about the Diamond DA50, and
yeah.
So I'm only talking about European airplanes. So feels a little strange for an American, but the volume of airplanes, the variety, it's quite impressive, and a lot of the new stuff that's coming from your side of the pond.
I was going to say, it's been a long time since we've had a brand new certified piston single. So the DA50 is quite an arrival. Right,
and it's for a guy who's just first laying eyes on it, it's quite impressive in its size. It looks like a DA62 fuselage with a big single engine diesel on the front, and so. This is all this is new to most Americans like me, so it's exciting to see.
Yes, yeah.
The other big news for home builders is the RV15. There's that's been rumored for quite some time. We're all curious about what it is. The band's crew is kind of torturing us by only letting out the vague outline of what it is, but they've said it's a high wing backcountry airplane, and so that's a real departure for vans, and there's a lot of enthusiasm for it here. Usually the manufacturers are loath to talk about their future plans because they don't want to upset their current sales.
Yeah.
But vans is their kit sales are up 250% from 2019.
Yeah.
So if something were to happen to slow their actual kit orders now, they would love that because they're really struggling to meet their order demand as it is.
Yeah.
And if they put out the news of the RV15 is coming, then it's pretty savvy because it gets people to think about their airplane and maybe not their competitor's airplane, and at the same time it might relieve some pressure on meeting their demand for kit sales. So I'm still waiting for the details on exactly what it's going to be, whether it's going to be a 2-seater or a 4-seater, whether it'll have what kind of engine it'll have, and all the specifics that pilots and aircraft owners care so deeply about.
Yeah.
But it's exciting to know that it's on the way, and that they have we've kind of heard through the grapevine that it was coming and that it would be a high wing, but this is the sort of official confirmation that just makes it a lot more real.
Yeah, I was trying to guess whether it would be IO 390 powered, or maybe they'd go for the big 6-cylinder engine instead.
Right. Yeah, that's we're all sitting around the coffee table, sort of discussing what we think it's going to be, and we've all got an opinion, but none of us have any actual knowledge. So looking forward to that. The people at Vans, they say that it has not yet flown, and that there are some aspects to the design that have not been settled, and that they're looking for feedback about things like, should it have flush rivets or pop rivets? And I'm not sure whether they've actually decided those things or just trying to seem receptive to customer ideas or not. But it's fun to think about, and there's just a lot of interest in the RV15 already.
Yes, and I kind of figured that they're probably, by announcing it, they're probably not taking away from very much of their existing business anyway, because they've never had an aeroplane like that, and there's plenty of other RVs to choose from, and I think if anyone builds a backcountry aeroplane, they'll probably build it as their second project, or in addition to their other RVs.
Right, and just Vans and their famous sort of practicality and efficiency, you can pretty much bet that it's going to use a lot of components from their existing fleet. So it's like I'd be shocked if it were otherwise.
Yeah. Talking of backcountry aeroplanes, have you seen Scrappy yet?
I have seen Scrappy, and it's there's a circle, 3 to 5 people deep around Scrappy at any particular moment. These just completely over the top, outrageous airplane, but it really captures people's imagination.
Yeah.
Usually avionics, for the last I don't know how many years, all the innovation has become on the avionics front, and this year it doesn't seem like as much. There's Dyna and Garmin, other avionics makers. It seems like there's more refinement of existing products than totally new products on the avionics side. And that's a little bit unusual because they have been their cycle times have been so rapid.
Yeah, I'm guessing, obviously, COVID took away the year that Garmin would have made a big announcement about Autoland. So I'm guessing we're all catching up with that, really, aren't we?
And, in the lighter side of the VA universe that you and I occupy, they've got this sort of glide to land, which is and you can see that very much came from Autoland. It's now a sort of envelope speed protected version of Autoland, but it glides you to the nearest airport rather than set you up for an actual landing on a runway.
Yeah.
But it's like to me it's a smart adaptation of the existing technology.
Yeah.
Doesn't require like Autoland requires an auto throttle.
Yep.
How many of us have that? So this one, the glide plan clearly doesn't. But it's hopefully it's a product that will enhance safety. That's we're all interested in that.
Yeah. And generally around the site of Oshkosh, is there any differences from normal, or does it feel just like a good old regular Oshkosh?
It feels like just pretty good old regular Oshkosh. People are obviously happy to be out and about, happy to be traveling. There's the mood is quite upbeat. There are a few events that are canceled. Like there's no nightly concert, for example, or out at the seaplane base there were some social events that were always pretty tightly packed. So those have been scrapped. But there's a huge volume of people out walking around. the big hangars, they're open, and the vendors are in there. You can see that they've done a lot to increase fans and ventilation and that sort of thing. Honestly, that there are very few masks being worn here. And for those of us who have been cooped up for during the course of this pandemic, I gotta say it feels odd to be around so many people. It's at first for me, and it's like there's initially some hesitation, but I know that among a lot of the vendors and that are coming here, they insist that all the attendants have full vaccinations before they come, and I know that personally that's the case with me. It does relieve some of the sort of reluctance to be around lots of other human beings.
Cool. And I hear, I'm watching some of the weather stuff. It seems like there's a bit of a storm on the way, and there's been a bit of a mass departure today.
There is, and that's my next meeting, because we're talking about, hey, we got to, there are a few AOPA airplanes here. Should we take them somewhere? Is there a way we can get them inside? Is there a way that we can really secure them, because the forecast is fairly ominous for high winds in the middle of the night. So it's like, keep your fingers crossed and hope for the best. I've got one of our colleagues, let me say that again. One of our colleagues, Carlos Villiers, has just finished this magnificent Flans-built biplane, and it's light as a feather. It's lied down out on the grass, and it's a work of art. So we're just we're just thinking about how do we protect Carlos' beautiful biplane. So
I think it's a Hats classic, isn't it? With a Rotec radial.
That's exactly right, man. You are on it. It sure is. It's a thing of beauty. We're hangar mates, so I've watched him for the last 4.5 years as he's created this out of a bunch of tubes in the back of his pickup truck, and it's magnificent to see what he's accomplished. And we're all on pins and needles to do the right thing to make sure we protect it.
Yeah, if anything needs to go in a hangar, it's that airplane. I've seen some photos of it. It looks magnificent.
It is, and it's even better in person.
I bet. So, well, hopefully you'll all survive what's coming weather-wise. Is there anything else that you're expecting later on in the week, or?
No, we're all looking forward to is cooler temperatures, because after this weather front moves through tonight, we've got several days of dry, cool weather, and I can speak for everyone here that we're all really looking forward to that.
Excellent. Good. Well, thanks for joining us, Dave, and we hope you have a great onward show.
Thank you very much, Ed. Wonderful to talk with you.
Okay, take care. Excellent. Sorry about the audio on that. Obviously, it's operating from Oshkosh. The bandwidth was a bit variable, but hopefully as a last-minute interview, it was not too bad. So.
Okay, just as a quick thing before we move on to Fancy Hangar, here's a picture that I forgot to show you earlier from the Oshkosh itself. So there you go. That's what it was looking like. That was early on, because the North 40s, which are kind of like bottom right, I think hadn't really filled up too much at that time. So there you go. That, and then finally we managed to get the picture of Ed sitting in the RV5.
I definitely, you have to be. I'm completely the wrong size for that aeroplane. There we go, and that's what. But basically, you can that whole wing lifts up and pivots to store along the fuselage. It's quite clever.
It's not a thing of beauty, is it?
It's not a thing of beauty. No.
Right, Fancy Hangar time. Let's have a fancy hangar thing.
So, obviously, in the Oshkosh news, we heard that Mike Patey had finished his mad backcountry style aeroplane, Scrappy, and flew it to Oshkosh, which had us wondering, if we were going to put a backcountry aeroplane in our fancy hangar, what would it be? So, if you've got your suggestions, stick it in the comments. Otherwise, who is first?
Dave.
Dave.
Dave,
Right.
Luscombe.
No. This is a big Luscombe. Now, I chose the de Havilland Beaver. It's the ultimate bush plane. It can be on wheels, floats, skis, and ideally when it's fitted with the 450 horsepower Wasp Junior radial. There is a later version with a Pratt & Whitney PT6 turbine, which will do. That will be all right. But anyway, it's whichever the radial or the turbine, both have got lots of power. Means it can operate from very tight spaces. The sort of title of the de Havilland Beaver is a DHC2, which gives away its Canadian roots. Sort of why it was developed really. First customer was the Ontario Department of Lands and Forests, and it's been the choice of armies all over the world. The US Army in particular bought hundreds of them. More than 1,600 were made up until 1967, and you can still buy a rebuilt one from Viking Air in Canada. This one in the picture was being operated by a company called Bent Prop Lodge, just north of Anchorage. And I'm going there. I've seen the website. It looks fantastic. What a place to go. So beat that simply.
That's nice. So you let the side down by suggesting that you might have one with a turbine, because clearly, if you're going to have a Beaver, have a radial powered one.
Absolutely. Ed, you're next.
I'm next. Well, this will be probably not very many people are aware of this, but I picked something called the Sherpa. Basically, it's a giant size Cub. It seats 8. The first version was powered by an 8-cylinder Lycoming IO 720, but they decided that wasn't man enough, so they stretched it so that it could seat more people and gave it a 700 shaft horsepower Honeywell turbine, 7,000 pound gross weight, speed range from 30 miles an hour to 200 miles an hour. It's quite a machine, but amazingly, they've never got past making one of them. So.
It's quite a machine that everybody didn't buy.
Yeah.
So okay, fair enough. Well, I gone really, really retro. I kind of thought about all of those big old Super Cub type things, X Cubs, and all the rest of that stuff. But I went no. The ultimate bush plane. It's got to be the Lysander, hasn't it? I mean, that's part of nearly 3 tons. Nearly 3 tons it was. 870 horsepower. Take off in about 200 meters, land in about 300 meters, although when that was built, that was probably more yards. Just an absolutely stunning aeroplane. Fantastic. And I highly, highly recommend that anyone who's vaguely interested goes on the internet and Googles Shuttleworth Lysander and look at the pilot notes written by Andy Sefton, which kind of give you a clue as to what a fantastically individual aeroplane it was. Absolutely super effective airplane, but not the easiest thing to fly accurately, and that's a few vices apparently that will kill you.
Basically, the pilot's notes say something along the lines of, this aeroplane will always try and find unique ways to try and kill you, isn't it?
Well, I didn't take that from them, to be perfectly honest, but it's a really good read. Go and well worth half an hour of your life to read the pilot notes and Andy Sefton wrote on the Lysander.
I've got to say, so far, lots of comments support the Lysander. So
it's just a stunning. Okay, Johnny, are you going to take it away from me or not?
Yeah, I might do. Well, so I've gone for literally the man of the bush. That's how it's translated. The Broussard. Look at that thing. So it's like a beaver, but function with the twin tails. So they were about 360 built by Max Holst, and it was powered by later models powered by Pratt & Whitney Wasp, producing about 450 horsepower, so not as much as some of the aircraft we've heard. But the max takeoff weight was 6,000 pounds. It'll max out at about 168 miles per hour, up to 14,000 feet, range over 700 miles. But I think it's it's not the prettiest looking thing, but it's certainly utilitarian looking. And I do like that big T-tail. Sorry, not T-tail, twin tail.
Yes, yeah, that's quite nice. And I think the Broussard's got it's got a big slidey door on the side as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, but for me, it's the fact that the name just translates to man of the bush.
You're shallow, aren't you? What are the comments saying then, Ed?
So in the comments, Ian wins it this week. Lizzie every time. Chris Winch says Pilates Porter. Mark Lythen says Ian wins. Beaver might be better than Trent Palmer's Kit Fox. Someone did suggest Trent Palmer's Kit Fox. David E says Dave is still blurry.
David E said I was blurry earlier. And
okay, we're all going through a blurry thing.
Oh, thank you, Jane.
Yeah, lots of wow, Johnny wins.
Yeah.
And Andrew Kennedy says the Watson Explorer. I think you mean, Andrew, the Wilson Explorer. Google that. That's a good choice. Kia Williams waiting for Ed to say RV15. We don't know what it's like here, so who knows?
Yeah, but I'm with you, Kia. I was expecting that as well. But anyway, there you go. So that was a good little fantasy hanger, and everyone would be pleased with the choice of the Lysander, I think. Oh, done.
Yeah.
There you go.
Trend 772 has gone kind of uber modern and gone Pilates PC12. Quite good.
Yes. Even better, PC24.
Yeah. Oh, Vince Chadwick very gone very left of the lights. Fiesler Storch. Very
Bit
good.
slow.
Bit slow. Yeah. You'd be making a cross-country trip just wishing you pick something a bit faster.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's move on because time's running out. So, Johnny, tell us about... Oh, no, sorry. Yeah. Johnny, back in your box. Dave.
So, events this weekend. Coming up is the Flyer Club flying at Slape on Saturday. John will have more on that in a minute. Compton Abbas on Friday and Saturday. There's an aerobatic competition. Old Buckingham in Norfolk. Old Buck Air Show is Saturday and Sunday. Up at Ruffle on Saturday and Sunday, there's the We All Fly event. Basically, it's an LA event locally, plus Yorkshire Day on the Sunday. Sorry. Fenland on Saturday and Sunday, Chipmunk's 75th anniversary weekend. And on Sunday, the 1st, of course, it's Lundy Sunday. Also on Sunday, the Need for Speed Air Show at Shuttleworth. Cancelled, which was supposed to be on this weekend, is a Scrumpy and Cheese flying at Weston's Oiland. Was it the Scrumpy or was it the cheese? Oh, looking ahead. I forgot. I must mention looking ahead. Sorry about that. 6th of August, Friday the 6th of August, is the private flyer event at Leeds East. And then for some reason, I've been asked to mention the Causeway flying near Coleraine in Northern Ireland later in August on the 28th and 29th. So, over to you, Johnny.
Yep, thank you, Dave. So, yeah, we've got the Fly Club flying on Saturday with the weather looking doable. So, hopefully we'll see lots of you there. We've sent the PPR list to Bruce, and we've got, just looking here, about 65 aircraft now, which is really good. So,
brilliant.
Hopefully you can all make it there. I'm sure Bruce will have the coffee boiling in the morning. Next week, we've also got a webinar from Nigel Webb on Wednesday the 4th, all about how to plan IFR flying. And also Greeners has got some spaces left on his UPRT day, which is on the 8th, Sunday the 8th of August. So you can visit the website, find out more about it, or go straight to his website, ring him up and book in with him. So he's got the last few spaces left. And also we've already emailed all club members about the private fly event at Leeds East. You can get 50% off the ticket price if you're driving. So check your inboxes for that. And the final thing is we've got and secured a 10% discount on a Spitfire simulator down at Goodwood with Spitfires.com, who, if you've not heard of them, they used to be called the Bulkby Academy. They're now called Spitfires.com. So we've got 10% off that simulator. It's a full Spitfire cockpit, really amazing. We'll email you more information about that tomorrow. And of course, if you're watching this and you're not a member of the club, just go to fly.co.uk and hit the club tab at the top, and you can join from £7.50 per quarter.
I have to say, I watched the video of you flying the sim, Johnny, and that looks absolutely brilliant.
It is really, it's the closest thing you will get to flying a Spitfire without actually forking out £2,500 to do it.
Yeah.
Are you hoping that we'll fork out $2.5 grand just so that you can say, no, I was right?
Damn it.
Because that's not going to happen. So, Jess, if you come along, if you come along to Sleep at the weekend, you can get a little free flyer sticker, which I'm sure you'll appreciate. We should have some lanyards, some oil filters, and stuff like that. So that's for club members. So that would be great. It just leaves me to say thank you very much to Sky Demon for supporting the live stream. And don't forget, you can get a free trial for 30 days. Go and check that out and check out some more video tips. And I believe that QSY once again is going to have to get pushed into next week. QSY, Antiques While You Wait. So thank you very much, everyone. Look forward to seeing you next Thursday at 7:30, usual time. And that's great. Have a great one. And see you on Saturday, some of you.
Fly safe, everybody. See you Saturday.
Bye.
Saturday.
Bye-bye.